Good evening. In our news for tonight. Under royal directives, Jordan dispatches fourth aid plane to Lebanon. The kingdom condemns the storming of Al-Aqsa Mosque by extremist Israeli settlers. Israeli occupation forces carry out deadly attacks across Gaza, killing at least 23 Palestinians over the past 24 hours. Hamas confirms a leader of its armed wing, Al-Qassam Brigades, was killed in an Israeli strike on Lebanon's port city of Tripoli. Those were the headlines, and now for our news in detail. Under royal directives, a fourth Jordanian Air Force C-130 plane departed for Lebanon today amid the Israeli occupation assault on the country. The plane, dispatched by the Jordan Armed Forces Arab Army in coordination with the Jordan Hashemite Charity Organization, carries essential food, medical, and relief supplies. The aid is intended to support Lebanon's health sector during these challenging circumstances. Jordan condemned the storming of Al-Aqsa Mosque al-Haram al-Sharif by Israeli settlers and their provocative practices, including blowing the trumpet in violation of the sanctity and holiness of Al-Aqsa Mosque. Spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Expatriates, Sufyan Liqda, said Israel, as the occupying power, must stop all ongoing violations and breaches of the historical and legal status quo in Jerusalem and its holy sites. Liqda stressed that the holy compound is a solely Muslim place for worship, and that the Jerusalem and Al-Aqsa Mosque Affairs Department, which affiliated to the Jordanian Awqaf Ministry, is the body with exclusive jurisdiction to manage all affairs of the compound and organize entry to it. Israeli occupation forces carried out deadly attacks across the Gaza Strip today, killing at least 23 Palestinians and wounding more than 66 over the past 24 hours. Gaza's health ministry said in its daily brief today that nearly 41,830 Palestinians have been killed and more than 96,910 others wounded since Israel launched its genocidal onslaught on the besieged Strip in October last year. Lebanese security sources said Israeli airstrikes on Beirut's southern suburbs since yesterday have kept rescue workers from searching the site of an Israeli strike suspected to have killed Hezbollah's anticipated next leader. Hashem Safieddin, the security sources said Safieddin had been unreachable since yesterday's strike. Earlier today, a Lebanese security source said an Israeli strike hit Lebanon's northern port city of Tripoli for the first time after more bombardment hit Beirut's suburbs. The source confirmed that a Hamas official, his wife, and 2 children were killed in the strike on a Palestinian refugee camp in Tripoli. Hamas-affiliated media has also confirmed the strike killed Saeed Atallah, a leader of the group's armed wing, Qassam Brigades. Meanwhile, Lebanon's health ministry said more than 2,000 people have been killed so far in Israel's attacks across the country, including 127 children and 261 women. In a related development, the U.S. State Department said in a statement yesterday that Washington will provide nearly $157 million in new humanitarian assistance to support populations affected by the conflict in Lebanon and the region. The statement said the funding will address new and existing needs of internally displaced persons and refugee populations inside Lebanon and the communities that host them. It added that the assistance will also support those fleeing to neighboring Syria. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi arrived in Damascus today to discuss regional developments and bilateral ties with Syrian officials. The visit came after Araghchi concluded talks in Lebanon, where he reiterated Iran's support for Lebanon and Hezbollah. Araghchi said Tehran backs efforts for a ceasefire in Lebanon on the condition they would be backed by Hezbollah and simultaneous with a ceasefire in Gaza. That's the end of our news for tonight. Thank you for watching.